When most people think about investing, they imagine stocks, bonds, or real estate. But the world of investing is far broader than these traditional assets. Some investors build wealth through something far more unusual: paintings, rare wine bottles, luxury watches, classic cars. These are known as alternative investments. Unlike stocks or bonds, alternative assets are physical objects whose value comes from rarity, demand, and cultural significance. Consider the world of art. A painting created decades or even centuries ago may suddenly become worth millions of dollars. Collectors compete to own pieces created by legendary artists such as Pablo Picasso or Vincent van Gogh. These artworks are not just decorations. They are considered stores of value. Some investors buy art not only for beauty, but also as long-term investments. The value of rare artworks often increases as they become more scarce and historically significant. Another fascinating alternative investment is fine wine. Certain wine bottles improve with age. As they mature, their flavor becomes richer and more complex. But aging also makes them rarer. Once a bottle is consumed, it disappears from the market forever. Because of this limited supply, some rare wines can increase dramatically in value over time. Wealthy collectors often store these bottles in specialized climate-controlled cellars to preserve their quality. Luxury watches represent another growing category of alternative investments. High-end brands like Rolex and Patek Philippe produce watches in limited quantities. Some models become highly sought after by collectors. In certain cases, a watch purchased for a few $1,000s may later sell for several times its original price. But alternative investments extend even further. Classic cars, rare sneakers, vintage handbags, and collectible trading cards have all become popular investment assets. The appeal of these investments lies partly in their uniqueness. Unlike stocks, which exist as digital numbers on a screen, these assets are tangible. You can see them, you can hold them, and sometimes you can even enjoy them. However, alternative investments also come with unique risks. One major challenge is liquidity. Selling a stock can take seconds, but selling a rare painting or collectible watch may take months or even years. Finding the right buyer can be difficult. Another challenge is valuation. The value of a company can be estimated through earnings and financial statements. But how do you determine the value of a painting or a vintage wine bottle? Prices often depend on collector demand, trends, and cultural popularity. This makes alternative investments less predictable than traditional assets. Storage and maintenance can also be expensive. Art may require special preservation environments. Wine must be stored at precise temperatures. Luxury items must be protected from damage and theft. Despite these challenges, alternative investments can provide an interesting benefit. They may behave differently from traditional financial markets. When stock markets decline, the value of certain collectibles might remain stable or even increase. For this reason, some investors use alternative assets as a way to diversify their portfolios. But experts usually recommend caution. Alternative investments are often best suited for experienced investors who already have a strong foundation in traditional assets. For beginners, building wealth typically starts with more conventional investments, such as diversified stock portfolios or index funds. Alternative assets can then become a small portion of a larger investment strategy. At their core, these investments reveal something interesting about human psychology. People are not only motivated by financial returns, they are also motivated by passion. A collector may purchase a rare painting not only because it might increase in value, but because it inspires admiration. A wine enthusiast may invest in rare bottles because they appreciate the craft behind them. In this way, alternative investments blur the line between passion and profit. They remind us that investing is not purely mathematical. It is also cultural, emotional, and sometimes deeply personal. And as long as humans continue to value rarity, beauty, and craftsmanship, alternative investments will remain an intriguing part of the financial world.